by personal financial saving, financial planning. It's always better to save earlier than being sorry later. That really strikes my mind how important of personal financing. So 2008 and 2015, I will call the 7 darkest years of my life. And sooner or later, it actually turns out to be the most treasurable and precious time or experience of my life. I'll share with you later. So when I come back to Hong Kong, there's no jobs. I sent out almost 100 plus resumes to headhunters, corporations. Basically, it just all went down to the dark hole, to the black hole. No one calls back. So out of a year and a half of being very desperate, I took a job in a small financial advisory firm. I had my pay cut of 80%. If I don't take this job, I don't have any place to live besides living with my parents. I have to pay my debts. It's a tough life. Then when I took this job, another thing happens to me. I was lucky, despite the upsetting events. I met one of my mentors. I think everyone here who joined an agency always have one person or one mentor that teach you something about in life. And what he taught me is about how you create your passive income. If you don't work, lying down in the bedroom, you can still have money coming in. Isn't this what insurance is about if you do savings? But on that time, I know nothing about insurance. Sorry, I was a proud banker. I don't really care about insurance at all, okay? So, I'm a person who is very driven. I'm not willing to satisfy with my current situation. So I continuously try to find a job. I want to get out. I want to move higher. But I did a lot of interviews, but none of them want me. You know why? Because after 2008, no one really gives a damn about a Hong Kong educated Ivy League, well-spoken English professional working in the finance world in Hong Kong. They don't need it anymore. I got wiped out in the industry. What they want is someone similar like me, but with Chinese background, with very fluent Mandarin speaking. So, at the same part, why would they hire me? This is a very transformative age in the financial world, and I wasn't prepared for that. So I worked in this stinky shop for a few years. I got so sick of it. Sometimes I fight with my boss too. And in 2014, I left the firm. I left the firm without any plan at all. I want to take a lead on my life. I want to try something different. But I haven't really thought through that time. It's a little bit like when we do insurance, we're not sure whether we come in this path and will we succeed or not, right? But I tried. So I joined some seminars, something like this, but from a different industry, right? And they were doing some kind of an internet platform thing. You can sell pearls, like the woman all loves it, across the internet. And from Malaysia to Hong Kong to China, whatever. It sounds great. All I need is a platform. And then a few friends of mine decide to chip in. And each of us, I think we pay almost 15,000 K US dollars each, a piece. So we've got 6 people, close to $1 million Hong Kong. So it's like, oh, it's great, right? We just have to do a little bit of marketing, and people will actually buy things online. That was crazy. I was very naive. When we took up the business, we don't know what to do. We try to write articles in the online. We have only 3 people reading about it. No one cares about it. So we failed. We lost a lot of money at our first startup. But it was a good experience. This is how the real world business is like. And after a little while, in a couple of months, another friend called me up and said, hey, Alfred, since you're not really working right now, you want to come to join my startup? And guess what? It's a startup about connecting single female and male in dating. It's a dating agency, right? It's a high-end dating agency. Do you know how much women would love to pay to see a quality guy in Hong Kong? It's crazy. So we had a good run for a couple months, and this was the first time I had a chance to be sales. I call up strangers and I invite them to come to our office, a little bit like insurance for closing. But guess what? In a few months later, suddenly, the industry changed again. No one wants to pay for one-on-one consultation service. They would like to pay a few $100s to access a database, something like Lovestruck, something like an internet dating apps or something like that. Tinder, has anyone played Tinder before? Those are free, by the way. So we got wiped out again in a few months. And we were not prepared for it also. So I have to say, 1 year, 2 failed startups, that's quite a lot for someone like me to take in my experience. So after all this setback, I decided, hey, maybe I should take a break of being a failure. Let's go back and make some real money by working for someone. So I joined a public listed company. We do renewable energy investment. When a guy is really in bad luck, sometimes it just keeps lingering on until one day it breaks you. So the CEO who hired me, he was fired in 2 months after I joined the firm. I'm not sure if it's my bad luck, it's transfer him, or he's just really suck at it. I don't know. So it gives me a chance to say, hey, the CEO is gone, why don't you take up the investment department? You become the investment director. You done investment before, right? I was like, yeah, okay. So after a few months, I worked on some deals. It's not very exciting, but one day I got a call from my colleague in Bangkok, and he said, you know what? Our major shareholder, who is actually the interim CEO, he just had a blood clot. He was sitting on his chair, and he suddenly fell. He was hospitalized, and then in 2 months, he passed away. I was wondering, did I transfer my bad luck to him again? So when I was in Hong Kong, I was like, oh my God, what happened to this company? It's like 7.0 earthquake. There's nothing to do. I was counting my fingers every single day until December. I decided, hey, it's time for me to get married. So I brought my wife to China some place and I proposed to her. She said yes. And then I came back to Hong Kong. It was December 27th in the morning. The first time when I stepped into the office, I got a call from another CEO. They say, Alfred, come to my office. I say, what's up? And she said, hey, you know what? The CEO is dead. There's nothing much to do. I'm sorry, I gotta have to let you go. Wow. Well, I can see it coming, for sure. I had set out resumes before, but I didn't know it comes so fast. I wasn't really prepared for it. So I went home, I was sitting there, my wife came back, he was looking at me watching TV, and he asked me what's going on. I was like, nothing on. He was like, seriously, what's going on? I was like, I got fired again. I think it's karma, right? When I fired my boss in 2014, someone actually fired me back in 2015. Karma circles, okay? So in 2 months' time, I think life has finally given me a little break. I got a call from Bbcon, which is one of the largest mutual funds in the world, in the US, and they offered me a position as a vice president. So I said, yeah, I'm back to the pinnacle of my wealth finance. It was great. And after all these 7 years, I just figured out in life, uncertainty is the only certainty in life. We just need to embrace it. But as we know what this is, how can we increase the certainty of our life and career? This is very important. And I came up with a little framework I would like to share with you today. Maybe it's useful. Well, it's definitely useful for me. But it helps me to guide through my investments, my career, and a lot of life choices. I call it the FIT model. I try to make it cool, so we say the FIT model. It comes to 3 parts. F represents foresee. What does it mean by foresee? While you're working something at this moment, you always think ahead about the future, because what I experience, it changes all the time. You gotta be prepared for it. And second, I innovate. We cannot do the same thing as before and in the future to get the same results. Never happens. So we need to innovate, try something new, abandon old logics. So once you have a great idea, don't just go all in and do everything about it. You need to test. Do it in a small cycle. When you do a closed cycle, it works. Say, for example, some kind of business model you're trying to do, in a small cycle, it works. Then it's worthwhile put your time and energy into it. So what I've achieved, from bankruptcy to now a multi-millionaire, from negative two companies, from 0 to 5 companies doing immigration, education, and whatnot. 2007, I was awarded with the Hong Kong Best Financial Advisor. 2018, I was here in Manila to receive the Life Insurance Agents Award Rookie of the Year. 2022, 2025, I was the best financial book seller in China, Taiwan, and Vietnam. So one of the many great things is, I'm now standing here as an international speaker for a lovely conference with all of you guys. So let's get back, don't get carried away a little bit much. So how does this FIT framework guide me through my insurance career? That's very important. Let us just rewind a little bit of a timeline, not that much. Transformative. So at the age of 35, many years ago, I look very young, isn't it? I live in Hong Kong. My job at Invesco was totally unbearable. I worked like a slave. And you know how expensive to live in Hong Kong? Just an average, what we call medium income, right? Medium income people. You need probably 2,000 US to 4,000 US to live just okay in Hong Kong. And guess what? One third to 50% of your salary actually goes to rent. It was crazy. So I thought about it. If I keep doing this way, how many years I can actually buy an apartment in Hong Kong? And once I buy an apartment in Hong Kong, I have no money for my kids. I have no money for my retirement. There was no future. So one thing really takes off. I think everyone in here, before you join the insurance industry, there must be something in your life, some incident happen to take you and say, enough is enough. I want to change my life. So this little incident that I had in Hong Kong with my boss, who treats me like a slave, it was a Thursday night. I got a call from my boss in Beijing and say, hey, let's go to Shenzhen tomorrow and had a meeting with our investors. So I was like, okay, fine. I woke up early in the morning at 6 a.m., took a 2-hour bus all the way from Hong Kong to Shenzhen, had a long meeting. It was noon, and then my boss and a couple of colleagues were standing outside the room, outside the road. And suddenly my boss said, hey, let's go to Beijing. I'm booking my ticket right now. And I was looking at my colleague, and he was looking at me. Guess what? I only have my laptop with me. I have no luggage, nothing. So I asked my colleague, am I going to be there just for a short time? He said, yes. Okay, I believe in him. So I took the flight to Beijing. And then after the 3rd day, I found myself still stuck in Beijing. On the 10th day, I still stuck in Beijing. On the 14th day, I still stuck in Beijing. So when I come into the office, everyone's looking at me and say, hey, why are you wearing the same suit every single day? Yes, I was wearing the same suit every day. My underwear is the same. My socks the same. My clothes the same. Every day I thought I need to buy some new clothes, but every day I think I'm actually returning to Hong Kong. So it was never ending. So I got so fed up that time. When I returned to Hong Kong, I talked to my wife. I said, wow, this job really sucks. It was so bad. And my wife, well, kind of teased me in some sarcastic way. I said, look, you're working like an investment banker, but you don't make as much as we do. I was like, oh yeah. So do you have any good comments what I should do? I'm not sure what I can do in Hong Kong. besides finance? And she said, why don't you do insurance? A lightning strikes to my head. I was like, what the? An Ivy League educated professional working investment bank all the way top, and now you wanted me to be insurance sales? I told my wife, do you know what people say about Hong Kong insurance sales? You lose your family, you lose your friends, you lose your girlfriend, you lose everything. I was so upset, infuriated. We had a fight. I slammed the door. Don't talk to me. This is what I told her. But then, after a little while, I calmed down. I started to think about it. I was like, well, isn't insurance a part of finance? Right? Why am I so stuck on what I did before? So, this thing came out later years, right? It's a framework, how I think about making money in different ways. The first way you make money is making the hard money, like what I did before as a slave. You put the time, you put the labor, and then you create your own wealth. That was the hard way to do it. I was smart enough to make a little bit more, but doesn't mean I make it easy. And then the next stage is, how do you make smart money? Smart money, you use your knowledge. You use your real knowledge. Not labor, not time. And then you use your assets. What assets do we include? Your personal network, your financial assets. This is how you make your smart money. So I'm a little bit open to the idea, a little bit now. So I talked to some of my friends from mainland China, and I say, hey, guess what? What if I switch from private equity to do insurance? What do you think about it? And surprisingly, they say, wow, it's very good. You know what? There's a lot of people coming to Hong Kong, and they are willing to buy insurance. They're very receptive about it. I was very shocked. I thought I was the only one who hated about it. And then I look at a lot of my colleagues right now, or that time in different industry. They're mostly from Hong Kong locals. They don't really understand the Chinese market. They have language barrier. They think they can apply the same method of doing business across the market, so they don't know how to do it. And then within the industry, a lot of people come from various backgrounds, from lower class, middle class, high school graduates, barely minimum university, not very famous. So it's very, very fragmented. A little bit like developing countries. So there are a lot of information mismatch between China and Hong Kong. And one thing very interesting when I learned about it is, in Hong Kong, for one Hong Kong citizen, they have at least 5 insurance cases. But in China, there's one Chinese mainlander, they only have 0.8 policies. So there's a lot of room for growth. Okay, so as someone who has previously done a lot of analysis, this takes the bell. There are opportunities, okay? But like any other investments, it looks good, doesn't mean that it's actually really good. So I dig in. I learned more about the business, and one day, my wife took me to see my boss, my current boss, or somewhat my mentor right now. So I walk into the agency office. I think we all have very nice agency office, right? And then one thing that's special about agency office, I'm not sure they have it in Philippines, right? In Hong Kong, every agency has a scoreboard. You have your names on it, how much you make every single day or every single month of your commission. So I walked into it. I saw a very interesting number, $1 million. It was about 150K US dollars. It's up on the wall. So I asked my current boss in a cheeky way, I said, oh, this guy only makes $1 million in Hong Kong? And I was like, no, in 1 month. Oh my God, this guy actually makes more than I do in 1 year. It shocked me. Then I know this is the right direction. This is the right direction. If they can do it, I can do it. So, knowing all these facts is just facts. Just like us, we have to do business also, right? So how do you break through a new market? Whether it's Chinese market, whether it's the Philippine market, whether it's the Bangkok market, Thailand market, whatever. You gotta have your edge. And for a developed market where rules and regulations and information is not completely, rigid and solid, personal trust is actually much greater than what you call professional service. And cultural understanding, for example, even though in the Philippines you have different classes, right? What they talk about it, what they like about it, what they care about it, is all different. For us, it's even more. Because we're dealing with not a new culture, but we are the same race, but we have different thoughts, I would say that. We're mainlanders, right? So, I had put a lot of thoughts on how actually I could break into the market. What can I do to stand out, to differentiate yourself from other agents? That's the most important thing. Because having a license of being agent doesn't mean you're better than anyone else. You need to stand out from your competition. So for me, I saw light. Because the industry is so fragmented. There wasn't anyone with an education background like me. No one. My wife and I, when we got into this business, was 11 years ago. We were the first batch, or small batch, of investment bankers, Wall Street trained, Ivy League educated professionals coming to the industry. So when you have someone like that, versus a lot of people you can't even differentiate who they are, we have an edge. Our education branding becomes one of our first weapons. It builds trust. And secondly, public influence. This is what I will share with you in a little bit, so let's be a little patient. And third, consultation technique. I think 10 years ago or 5 years ago, when we started the insurance business, a lot of people say, hey, you just give me the product, you learn about the rules, and you go out and do your selling. You look at the client's eyes and say, this is what you need, and I chuck it down into client's flow and say, this is actually the product. So you try to force something to your client. Sometimes it's good, and sometimes it fire back, right? They say, you lie to them. You're giving me a bad product. It all happens, right? But because I had this professional training, I turned away around the techniques we use as a consultant. Like a doctor, like an engineer, like a lawyer, we ask very deep questions of our clients' lives, financial situation. We work with clients together, and they feel like they're coming with a solution by themselves, not by sales agents. One of the most occasion comments I got from my clients, you know what it is? They would say, wow, you talk very different from other sales agents. Very different. You make your point very clear, it's concise, I get it. But I talk to other agents, they talk about blabbing a lot about this product, blah, blah, blah. They just cannot remember it. So differentiation comes in the way how you talk with your clients. So what I come up with, being professional is not always the way to build trust. And I would like to share with you a little formula I wrote in my first book. I translate into English, and I hope it actually works now. Trust equals to affection plus professional. So what I say, now we spend a lot of time trying or acting to be professional, right? We all want to look good in front of clients. But if you only focus on that, you only earn 50% trust from the clients. The other half is affection. How does it work? Affection is the combination of sentimental value, his attachment with you, how he feels about you, plus what psychological value that you provide to your clients. Are you useful to him? If you're not, you know other than other agents. And professional, what I mean, your knowledge. Knowledge today is cheap, very cheap. You can use your AI, you can find it. But what are you going to do with all your knowledge? You need to communicate with a client on a rational and sophisticated way. So it's a very simple repositioning. On my first stage of my life career as an insurance agent, I transformed myself from insurance sales to a professional consultant. Really like a consultant, not a sales. So talk about public influence, right? I'd like to share with you this. This is my one of my WeChat blog in China. I wasn't the first one who innovated this, to be honest. It was my ex-colleague, who is a lot more younger than I do. So I saw her writing some blog and article in the WeChat blog, and it worked. I saw her sales commission. I saw she recruit a lot more people. Actually, more than I started in the first place. So as you can see, we actually work on this for a long time. We have close to, well, this is 2 weeks ago. It's probably a lot more already. We have over 80,000 die-hard dedicated followers. You know, it's not like those Instagram followers, right? It's not Facebook followers who just following you. These are really die-hard fans. They love you. So one die-hard fan is equals to 100 or 1,000 times of the value you create from one client. So this is very valuable. So guess what? We're not the first one who did it. We're certainly not the last one. But my colleague, she was actually wiped away during the COVID period. He was gone. And no matter whether it's COVID or pre-COVID or after COVID, we continue to do the same thing until now. And this is what we differentiate with each other. And we still stay in the industry and grow. And sometimes it's not about you have an idea, I try to copy it. It's about how you can stick it through. So at the end of the day, I think whatever you do, for myself, perseverance is the key of success. Just keep doing it. So what I achieved in that 3 years as an agent to a unit manager, I achieved 3 consecutive years of TOTs and 1 COT, and then from now every single MDRT. When I become a unit manager, I ranked number 3 out of 250 unit managers agency in the AIA. And the next year as an SUM, ranked number 7 out of 950 agencies. And then the most important thing is because our recruitment through WeChat blog, we got a lot of very good candidates. And one of my candidates did the largest ever life policy insurance sum of over $20 million from my team. You know the funny thing is, a lot of our competitors, they post the same message on their Facebook, but they don't know it's actually coming from us. Okay? So this is what we did. So starting at the COVID, that was the first bust or devastating period I actually experienced. This is a fight for survival. But you know what? For us, it's survival to thrive. So in 2019, this is COVID-19, new challenges came up. I'm sure we all been through the same thing. It was terrible. It was terrible. But it was even more terrible for us. You know why? Because over 90% of my clients, they're actually from mainland China. They cannot cross the border. They cannot come and sign any policies. You cannot run into China and do electronic signing. That's illegal. And in Hong Kong, people are so afraid to get caught with COVID-19. When you send a message for a cup of tea, they actually don't reply a message. None. 0 social gathering. What it means to us, near 0 commission, new commission. Okay, my team revenue just dropped down to the bottom. 90% completely erased. So we all, I think humans are being optimistic. When you start facing a little challenge, you think this will just go away very quickly, like what we did. So it started off with 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. We're just waiting. I was like, oh, this is almost going to end. But this COVID thing actually went for 3 years. My God. So a lot of my other colleagues, they left in the industry because they have no money, they didn't do their financial planning well, they were not leaders, they got wiped away. I was lucky, I still have people around my team during that time. So, but my wife and I decided, hey, we're not someone who likes just to wait and to die, we must act. So I'd like to share with you a little formula I learned from life coaching. I joined a class in Hong Kong, some kind of a life inspirational coaching. And there was one little exercise where we have 50 people in the classroom, including an instructor. And my instructor said, let's put all the chairs right in the middle of the classroom. And each of you will go through to the end of the room in 50 different methods. When we heard about that, I was like, whoa, how is it possible? You cannot copy anyone, you just do it. Well, when the music starts, and after half an hour, everyone try different thing, we all get to the end of the room. So what this taught me is about we can learn all the methods we want in the world, using AI, giving you tips, whatnot. But a lot of people, by just learning, they still produce 0 results. It's not about methods. It's 100% about willingness. Because if you have willingness, you will learn, you get the job done, and you get results. So as agency leaders, you need to have the will to grow. Not just say, I'm comfortable laying around with a couple of people. You might get wiped out by the industry. So there was a little picture I like to share. My wife all in the mast. It was a very heartbreaking time. I had to leave my 3-year-old daughter in Hong Kong with my nanny. My wife and I were holding luggage. We decided to go to China. We decided to find a way to survive. So we spent 14 days quarantine in Shanghai. And after that, we start going around. We pay money, we invest, we meet people. We try to find a way how we can continue our business in the insurance industry. So, the funny thing is, when we got into China, still everyone is not talking to each other, but there's a rise in social media. I saw a lot of bloggers. They're not necessarily in finance. Bloggers, they sell virtual products, education products, consulting sessions, whatnot. And the most interesting is, I saw insurance agents selling insurance online. Wow! My goodness, I can even do that in Hong Kong. But it was illegal for us. We cannot do that. Not now. Maybe in the future, but I hope not, okay? We're thinking, we have this thought come out, say, well, this is the trend. We need to acquire more customers eventually. We can't do business now, but it doesn't mean we cannot accumulate a large customer base. Ding! We should go into social media. But how are you going to do it? As a professional consultant? Come on! Who are you? Why would people follow you? No. We transform ourselves next stage. From professional consultant to social media influencer and to a book author. Because if we do that, we can acquire very low cost traffic. Think about as agents 10 years ago. Every day I run around seeing my clients. How many clients you can actually see in one day? Max 5, 4? Can you do that every single day? No. It's not going to work. We have to embrace how the new economy works. So in the COVID period, I think, well, if the insurance agents can actually sell insurance online, can I sell my knowledge online? Yes. I sell them financial intelligence courses, upgrading their system. So the first time I ever do online sharing, we spend a few days preparing. We have a little course, about 20 to 30 minutes. Very nice course. The first time when we opened to public, we never thought that in 30 minutes there were more than 6,000 people online listening what we have to say. And after that, more than 1,000 people directly connect with us. They get into our phone books throughout just 30 minutes of sharing. Let me ask every one of you, how many clients can you see in 1 year? I did it in 30 minutes. Potential, okay. So this is what I did. And second, we started to do more advertising. This is very cool. Someday I'll share with you in my Facebook, right? So a lot of people will know our positioning, where we belong, where we come from. And we also published our first book. It sold 30,000 copies in just 1 month. It's more about thank you. A lot of people actually contact us. They really contact us and ask for help. In America, after the book was published, and then our fans skyrocketed. Okay. So the outcome, leader or agency leader. If you want to drive your business, if you want to bring your team to a better future, you need to innovate. You need to change. So our social media model was copied or replicated to some of my team members, and they survived. They survived. And we actually generated a lot of money, insurance at the time, to survive. And because of doing that, we've never imagined by one change, a little change in thought, a little idea, we become the top 10 finance social media influence in 2021. That is the outcome. So that was the stage. Yeah, our name is somewhere around here. Yeah, here. It was very vague. So the conventional wisdom is about, you prepare yourself before the challenges come. I say this is bull. Nowadays, the industry goes so fast, changes so fast, you don't even have time to prepare for it. So when the opportunity comes ahead, or maybe now you're a leader, you should look ahead. Because if the market is growing, do whatever it takes to seize the moment. Don't wait. If you wait, you'll be wiped out. So that was the bottom pit of my insurance career for a few years. Then when the border started to open, we're free, the post-pandemic. The Hong Kong insurance came to a massive, explosive growth. I'm not sure why, but maybe because 3 years of spending power was really tightened up, right? So they start spending. And decide they don't have a lot of security. They want to do better financial planning because it's really bad out there. So after the post-COVID period, the Hong Kong insurance basically grow at a very rapid rate, 20%, 30%, like every single year. And it was like, I can't remember, $330.9 billion by the time it was 2025. It was Hong Kong dollars. I can't remember how to change to, just divide by 7 in US dollars, right? So it's good. I finally got my new commission back. My team is up and running again. But guess what? I'm not the only one who sees opportunity. Chinese people, they really know how to do business. Once they smell money, everyone comes over. So new challenges again. Even though your market is growing at 20 or 30% of the rate, you have more than the rate of people joining the Hong Kong industry. So you have the pie growing a little bigger, but you have a lot more people down there. So individual share is growing at a decreasing rate. That's a really big challenge. And I'm not sure it's because what we did in the COVID period, or somehow, I think it must have some influence. A lot of people actually know about us in Hong Kong. They start to do personal branding, you know, social media, Facebook, WeChat, whatnot. It's just something for influx of people doing that. So for agencies, a bigger agency, I wasn't an agency before, right? I was just a team. But the agencies with a long, outstanding family tradition, 50 years, 30 years, or 20 years, they have to scale. They have to scale. So when this post-COVID period passes, right, they are stronger, they have bigger scale, they have the advantage to use resource, to do marketing, to do recruitment. I was the little guy. And because of the COVID period, a lot of the COVID period plus social media, a lot of our clients, they got woken up. They start to learn more about insurance. They're more educated. They're not like 10 years ago. When you just tell them this is good, they will actually buy it. It's not. And now they're looking for more of a solution, more than just a product for themselves. So it presents a challenge for the agents in Hong Kong that we need to improve. If you don't, you got left out in the competition. So I wasn't a district director at that time. I was still a little guy. I asked myself, what can I do to be the big giants of the future? And one thing I think most important for whatever you do in your life, career, or even though in the insurance industry, you always need to change your mindset to a higher level. So if you're an agent, this is what I call to be have. I need to get used to my product. I need to know everything. I need to take all courses. I need to train well enough before I'm qualified to get something. This is to be have to be, okay? So that's an agent. So as an agent, we've been running around every day, trying to sell insurance, trying to make a commission, but not really think about the future that much. But if you want to be a director, or district director, or be a future leader, we have to change our mindset. We need to put ourselves on the other side of the shoe as a leader. And then we go backwards and think, what do I have to do today in order to become a leader in the future? It's a long-term strategy. You build systems. You don't just build agents. It never works. So it comes back into how you make money. The highest level, if everyone is actually looking to make a bigger buck, is to build your own system. A little agency is not a system. Sorry, a little team, okay? An agency is a system. Like Prudential is a huge system. Like AA is a huge system. That is how you make the big bucks. That's how I learned about it. So how do you tackle it? How do you actually become what you want to be? So there was 2 challenges I have to do. I know I have to expand my team size very rapidly. If I take 10 years to do it, it's not going to happen. Because 10 years later, there might not be a China market anymore. Who knows? And secondly, if you want to make bigger commissions, you're not just selling products or making your clients to pay more to get a higher level of business generation. No. We have to think in a different way. We have to provide a little bit more of a value-added service. The point is not about selling another product to your client. The point is your client can actually make a little bit more money rather than just selling insurance. So I became a partner of a family office. We do not just sell insurance now. We help them to do real asset allocation. Does anyone heard about SpaceX? Raise your hand. Come on. That's all? You don't have Elon Musk? He just had an IPO like a month ago. Guess what? My firm actually helped clients to trade SpaceX shares. They can buy original shares, and one of my clients make 30 times return. 3,000 plus percentage returns. And guess what? The first day when he got his money back, he called me up and said, Alfred, I would like to buy more insurance. So, once you have a value-added service, I start to think, how do I further differentiate myself in the market? I need a calling card. I need a calling card that no one can, or less likely anyone could replicate. So I wrote my second book. My second book was published 2 years ago. And I had to say, in the finance sector, publishing a finance book is really super hard. It's very, very hard, because everyone thinks you just pick up a finance book, it's so boring. You know, there's so many rules and formulas, you cannot really apply to it. But guess what? My book sold 50,000 copies in 6 months. Everyone loves it. It was so easy to understand, and they actually can put it to work. And where does it come from? It comes from a guy from insurance. Sorry, not from investment banker. I hide my investment banking qualification behind. But this is, I feel very proud of it. So we travel a lot in China. We hold seminars sharing. This is in Shenzhen. A lot of people, they're asking questions about our book, some of the knowledge, what was their problem, blah, 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 blah. And then a lot of newspapers, they're writers, they write about us, they talk about this book. It was a massive hit in Hong Kong. I walk down the street in Harbour City. I always have people looking at me. I don't know why. They're probably from different other companies. They just look at me and look back. I was like, okay. So I think they know who I am. Okay, but maybe we're competitors. They don't really say hello. Okay. So after that, there's a new height of my career. It's the second stage. I caught up with the boom again, the second boom again. There's a lot of people, a lot of fans who wants to get close to us, including quality recruits. So this is from 2000 and last year, November 1st. I had my 10 years celebration of my, financial career or social media influencer, some or not. And there's over 100 fans come here to celebrate with us. And actually some of them this year became my team member. Okay. So a little bit of a logic I'd like to share with the agency leaders here. If you do a lot of onlines, most of the problem that you come is you might have followers, but you have no conversion. But just because they follow you doesn't mean you were able to see them, right? But because what we position ourselves, we strategize ourselves, when we hold little dining events, a little short trips, or even education seminar, there's always people coming. I attract them to come. I do not chase them to come. Do you know the differences? Because when we do recruiting, when we do a lot, we have to hold event and we invite a lot of people, right? If they come, if they don't come, sometimes come one or two, very disappointed, right? But whenever we hold events, we have a group of people coming. So it's much easier to meet your new clients and meet your new recruits. So when there's an influx of traffic, make $1 million every single year, but you don't give them the tools, they're gonna run around like chicken. They are very tired. They'll lose their weight. If you see a TOT or a very strong agency leader here, most of them, maybe like me, we know the methods in action, but there are very, very few people who can actually do that. Or else, everyone sitting here is TOT, billionaires, right? So, it all goes down to the fact, from now on, what I do recruitments, and for agents, I dig down the driving force. It's not about asking, why do you want to do insurance? This is a very simple question. How much money you want to make in a year? It's not. These are very, very simple and service type of question. You're not gonna get anything out of it. I dig in. I dig down. Why do you think $1 million is enough? Why does insurance to you means a balance of life and work situation? Why do you want to do that? There must be a reason, right? Make it specific. If the agent, before they start hit the ground running, they really get clear of what's driving there to get into the business, they will have feeling. Once you have feeling, you have energy. If you have energy, you will find ways to achieve the results. The atmosphere becomes an extra boost of your energy. And you don't have to ask them, where do you go? When do you have to review? They'll always come to you. I always receive messages at night, 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. They all know that I'm not sleeping. And they'll ask me this question, this client, that client. They know I was an ex-banker, so I will respond to them pretty much within 1 minute if I saw the question. So they're very driven. So that's why we hold a world record. Highest percentage of MDRT members in the world. So my team size has grown 3 times, just right after the pandemic. And I got promoted to a district director. This is what we took in before. So we have close to 50 people now, okay, in a matter of 3 years. I know some people can do it in 1 year, I'm sorry. I'm not the guy who probably like to recruit a lot. I just look for people I would like to work with, okay. So, this is up to the point I'm standing here for the insurance industry, what I've gone through, what I've been through, some of my insights, and how I become a district director as of today. And now, let's talk about the future. Starting from right here in this conference. 2 words, unmeasurable challenge. It comes much quicker, much stronger, and it becomes a lot harder. So one challenge is AI, artificial intelligence. What it means is, you can use AI to create a lot of content, social media, even yourself. And some people actually misuse AI in creating false information. So, the social media is flooded with a lot of information. It becomes harder for someone like us, even as an influencer, to differentiate ourselves because everyone can package itself so well. So how can your customers know who you are when everyone is so good? How does your recruit know which agency is the best fit for him or her when every agency looks exactly or very similar? Second, sales. Because everyone is so hooked up to internet and phones, most of the time they're just looking at their iPhones and they don't talk to people. So when this comes, it becomes harder for you, or more in a compact time for you to build trust among with your customers or your clients. So if you don't have that personal touch, it's harder for you to do sales. That's what I think. And third, technology is good, but it comes with a lot of good and bad. We are in the different companies, and companies copy each other. Hey, right? Products. You got a 6% higher, here's 6.1%. Here's a multi-currency, I have 8, you have 9. Right? You're laughing. It's true. It's true. This will get it harder and harder. You cannot differentiate yourself by just products. It's difficult. So there won't be any creativity left in the industry, at least as far as I can say. So what can we do to thrive and to tackle this challenge? Like I do, I go back to the basics. It's a people business, everyone. We need to build a unique ecosystem Your clients, your friends, all surrounded you so that no other agents can steal your clients or your recruits. You give them value so they'll never want to leave. Second, if AI creates a lot of fake information, or if you look at it, somewhat's fake or not real, we go back to the basics. We don't use as much as AI. We can use that as a foundation of some knowledge you can use, but you do it by yourself because it's real, it's authentic. People can see it. And last, we need to adopt new technology. AI somewhat is a challenge, but it's also helped us a lot. We use it, we master it, we're not being enslaved by it. So this is a system my agency and my part of the family we built in Hong Kong. It's in the WeChat, and we incorporate AI system into it. Any new agents that comes in, we can spend 3 weeks only to train a new agent, and he's ready. He or she is ready. Okay. My thought is, I would rather spend more time on coaching rather than training skills. Because coaching is a lot funner, and training is so boring. They can learn it from AI themselves. So if agents and leaders need to learn to use the tools to free up your time, your agents need your own personal coaching more than attending classes, going to seminars. They can learn all they want, but they don't know how to use it. They need a teacher. We are the first agency in Hong Kong to adopt such AI system. So we make a branding of ourselves. And I created a standard operation procedure, SOP, for converting online traffic into offline. So final reflection here. There are a few takeaways I'd like to share before I finish my sharing today. First of all, like I say, the market changes is inevitable. Whether you like it or not, each day is different. But the only thing you can do is not about changing, not necessarily about your methods first. It's about your mindset. If you don't change the way you think, you always see negative challenges and whatnot. And the only way to break through this, like the great Steve Jobs ever said, innovation distinguishes between a follower and a leader. If you want to win, you always choose to be a leader. You always choose to be an innovator. There's no way out. Another takeaway, think about what we are here today. What business are we in? We don't just sell insurance. We are shaping people's lives. We are helping our clients to secure their wealth and legacy. And most important, because we are all leaders here, we are building a lifelong changing career for you and your partners. This is more meaningful than ever. So to build a rewarding and long-lasting career, you must dare to dream. We are not here to work. We are here to make our dreams to become reality. When you dream big, you attract followers, like your recruits. When you dream big, you build big influence. When you dream big, you seek opportunities rather than challenges. So, from this day onward, I would like all you guys to remember this. Stay hungry. Never stop learning. This is number one. Second, stay fearless. Embrace the changes. Every opportunity comes along with risk. It always happens. And finally, stay relentless. Keep fighting, never compromise, and never give up. Thank you very much.